November Alpha 1, Sierra Sierra, KO4, PDI, Echo Lima, 99.
KO4 PDI, November Alpha 1, Sierra Sierra, welcome aboard the International Space Station.
Hi, this is KO4 PDI. Welcome to my channel. It's Mike. My name is Mike, and Kilo Oscar 4, Papa Delta India is my call sign in ham radio. And I love sharing about ham radio, and one of my fun things that I love to do is satellites. Well, there's two different types of satellites. There's FM satellites, and there are linear satellites. What's the difference? Okay, I'll explain that to you. Someone asked this question. They wanted to get into linear satellites. They're kind of afraid to get into it because they really don't know how it works. So I'm going to do this video. First of all, explaining what satellites are. The satellites for ham radio have crossband repeaters on them. What is a crossband repeater? You transmit it up on one band and you receive on another band. For instance, the ISS. The ISS you transmit up on 2 meters, but you receive on 70 centimeters. And it's an FM bird. You need a PL tone to access the repeater, which is a tone that your radio sends out when you key the mic. And it tells the repeater, hey, I want to talk through you. And it opens up a door for you to get into the repeater on the satellite. The repeater hears that sound and retransmits it on 70 centimeters. Thereby, because they are at 250 miles to 500 miles above the Earth, when they send the signal back to Earth, it covers a huge footprint, almost like half of the continent it covers. And it gives you the ability to talk to somebody, say, in Panama, as the satellite is rising from the south, all the way up to, say, Michigan or Canada to the north, because that footprint moves underneath the satellite. If you looked at a map, if you look at the maps with the footprint on them, you'll see a circular thing under the satellite. That is the area. Anybody within that area can access that repeater and talk to anybody else in that area who's monitoring on the 70 centimeter side. When the astronauts get on there and talk to you, they're disabling the repeater function, and they're just using, they're accepting your call, still need a PL tone, and then retransmitting back to you with their voice. It disables the crossband repeater. All right. That is an FM satellite. That's how FM satellites work. Everybody's got that PL tone. Everybody's trying to squeeze through. If you could picture a bunch of people getting into, I'll use Kmart because it's not around anymore. But say you have a Kmart and having a big sale for Black Friday, and there's 300 people outside the store waiting to get in. And at 9 o'clock, the doors open, and all 300 people are trying to get through that one little door or two little doors, and they have to pace themselves. One gets in, no one gets in, no one gets in. That's how it is with an FM satellite. An FM satellite, picture everybody out here, all the amateur radio guys with radios with the correct PL tone to access that repeater, are trying to get in to the same slot. So what happens is only one at a time can get through. Sometimes, this is why it's said that to do satellites, you really should have a full duplex radio, which means when I transmit on the A band, I hear myself on the B band, or I can hear something on the B band. With a satellite, you transmit on the A band, but you don't listen to that. You listen to the sound coming back from the satellite. And when you hear yourself, that means you were the lucky one that got through the door on the FM satellite. See how that works? That is an FM bird. Linear birds are very different. Linear birds, if I can associate it with something, would be more like that same group of hundreds of people that want to get into Kmart. Well, say the whole front of the Kmart was doors. So you had all 300 people up there. Well, these two could walk in over here, and these two could walk in over here, and these two could walk in over here, and these two could walk in over here. You see what I'm saying? All the people would get into the store around the same time. There's a wide bandwidth of frequencies you can talk on. Let me give you an example. I will show you this page in a second, but if you go to AMSAT's description and frequencies of linear satellites, you will see something like, for instance, CAS-4A. Let's talk about CAS-4A, which is a Chinese satellite that was launched around 2017. On CAS-4A, the uplink, when you transmit to it, is between 435.21 to 435.23. So you have a signal that's 3 hertz wide, right? Your signal can go anywhere from 435 210 to 435 230. That's 20 hertz of bandwidth. So anywhere within that 20 hertz, you can transmit into the satellite. Don't need a PL tone. So you have 20 hertz of space to carry on a conversation with somebody. What happens? Some people carry on a conversation here. Some people carry on a conversation here. Some people carry on a conversation here. So when working a linear satellite, you're not stuck with that one PL tone to get in the door. You have a wide, it's as if that Kmart had doors across the entire front of it. Wouldn't be a big rush on Black Friday, right? Because you have all these doors where you can get in. So think about that for a second. If you were doing an HF contact on an HF radio, you could tune all the way up and down a 20-meter band, anywhere from, if you're a general, from 14,225 to 14,350. I believe that's it. As a general license holder in the United States. So you could transmit that whole thing. So you could search around, find somebody, rag, chew, have a nice conversation with somebody. The average time of a satellite pass is anywhere from 8 to 11 or 12 minutes. That's it. And very low on the horizon is very hard to get the satellite because there's a lot of obstructions. So in that 8 to 12 minutes, you may have 6 to 9 minutes where you can actually carry on a conversation. But you would be surprised how much you can accomplish in, say, 9 minutes. You could have a lot of conversations. You have more than one conversation. The nice thing about using my ICOM 9700 is I can look at the waterfall. And if I see something on a waterfall, I can immediately tune to that and know I can make a QSO with that guy. So picture CAS-4A is the example we were using. It goes from, the uplink is from 435 210 to 435 230. So you have 20 hertz in there that you can tune up and down along those 20 hertz to try to make contact. That's the uplink. The downlink on CAS-4A is on 2 meter, and it goes from 145.86 to 145.88, another 20 hertz. So you can tune on the downlink till you find somebody. And if you have a radio like mine, the ICOM 9700, it will tune the A band and the B band at the same time. So if I'm tuning up in the uplink, it'll tune up in the downlink also. The other thing is you have Doppler effect. Picture this little satellite, maybe 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot, and it's traveling at 17,000 miles an hour, and it's tumbling through space, and the antenna usually sticks out only one side. So every time that antenna faces you, you get a better signal as it rotates around, and it's moving 17,000 miles an hour like that. So in order to explain Doppler effect, Doppler happens because we're talking about frequencies here. What's a frequency? Take a rock, throw it into a lake that's really still, and you will watch the ripples move out. And they move out at a certain frequency, depending on the weight of the rock, the displacement, how much water was displaced, when the rock hit the water, and those rings go out. Well, that's exactly how radio waves work. They go out from your radio, out of your antenna in waves. The frequency that you're on when you transmit is on 70 centimeters. When you receive, it's on 2 meters. So for instance, we'll use CAS-4A only as an example. uplink 435.210, downlink 145.86. Those two frequencies, as the satellite is moving towards you, those frequencies get compressed because it's coming at you. So it's leaving the satellite at a certain speed, but the satellite's also moving in that direction, so it compresses those frequencies. What happens as a result? That's why you adjust the frequencies. When it moves away, the frequencies get stretched out. When it's moving towards you, the frequencies get compressed. Capiche? You getting this? You writing this down? Making notes? Let's talk about linear birds now. Linear birds, the nice thing about linear birds is you have a spread. For instance, spread. So you can tune anywhere from 435.130 through 435.150, and anywhere in there you can call CQ and talk and have nice long reg chews for the whole length of the pass. And that's a lot of fun. Unless you're the kind of guy that just wants to collect as many QSOs as you can on satellites, I highly suggest stick to FM then, because FM, you give your call sign, your grid square, somebody says your call sign and then gives you their call sign and their grid square. That's it. And here's the dirty little secret. You don't even have to give the grid square unless you're outside of your normal grid square. I use it at home. I transmit from my backyard, and I constantly hear people giving out their grid squares, but if you just look up my call sign, you'll know what my grid square is. It'll record it because I'm in Echo Lima 99. That's my grid square. Now, if I'm roving and I'm trying to collect grid squares, that's a different story. If I'm not in Echo Lima 99 when I make my contact, I got to know what grid square I'm in and tell people, oh, by the way, I'm not in Echo Lima 99, I'm in Echo Lima 98 or Echo Lima 96 or Echo Mike 96, whatever grid square I'm in, that's what I got to give out. But that's for rovers and stuff like that. But if you're just working from home with a rotor in your backyard and you're talking on satellites, you don't really need to give your grid square as long as you're in your home grid square. I'm playing this video just to show you what a linear bird looks like. You see there's a conversation right here. You can see it on the waterfall right there. There's another one over here, another one over here. This is how you tune in on a linear bird. You get to pick your spot, basically. Scroll down a little bit. You see, here's where the satellite is right now. It's just about ready to set right here. You see that. The next satellite is the ISS, and then RS-44 is coming back again, but not as high. At 11 minutes after 10 tonight, there's an 83-degree pass of the ISS. I may stay up for that. On that note, this is Kilo Oscar 4, Papa Delta India. Ham fun with KO4PDI. Follow me on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Rumble. KO4PDI on YouTube, KO4PDI on Twitter, KO4PDI on Rumble, and Ham fun with KO4PDI on Facebook. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and good night. God bless. 73. KO4PDI, clear.
November Alpha 1, Sierra, KO4, PDI, Echo Lima 99.
KO4PDI, November Alpha 1 Sierra, welcome aboard the International Space Station.